How did your day start today? How are you feeling? Are you truly living up to the promise you make to yourself every morning? Seriously, before you hit that play button, pause for a moment and ask yourself this. What would change in your life today if you finally decided with absolute certainty to stop accepting less than you deserve? Keep that thought in your mind, and if this idea resonates, let us know right now by dropping a heart emoji in the comments below. Let's start this journey together. The concept we're diving into today is not just about ambition, it's about the purest, most mature form of self-love, and it all begins with a daily ritual, a moment of profound, naked truth between you and the one person who truly matters, you. Every single morning, before the noise of the world crashes in, before the to-do lists, before the emails, before the demands, before you apply the mask you wear for the day, stand before your mirror. But this isn't about checking your appearance or adjusting your hair. This is an act of seeing. You are not there to judge the person staring back, to critique their flaws, to mentally list their failings, or even to shower them with empty, narcissistic praise. You are simply there to witness, to look into your own eyes and see the whole subject, the entire, complex, wonderful being that you are, without filter, without judgment, without the need for approval. This is the moment of recognition, a simple, raw acknowledgement of your existence and your essence. And in that quiet, powerful instant, you must utter a phrase, a mantra, that will fundamentally rewire your subconscious and shift the universe's trajectory around you. Say it out loud, into the glass, letting the vibration of the words settle deep within your chest. I don't ask too much of the universe, I just won't accept less than I know I deserve. Now feel that statement, feel the weight of its truth. For many, that sentence carries a certain sting, a sharpness that can frighten those who still mistakenly confuse a healthy, deep desire with outright arrogance, or who cling to the limiting belief that maintaining boundaries and expecting more is somehow a display of weakness. But listen closely, because that phrase, simple as it is one of the most mature, most powerful expressions of authentic self-worth you will ever find. This profound love we speak of doesn't originate from the fleeting, reflective surface of the mirror, the kind of superficial, narcissistic affection that fades with the first wrinkle or bad hair day. No, this love is forged in the fires of true self-knowledge, the hard-won understanding of your own inner landscape, your values, your non-negotiables, and your capacity. Psychoanalysis, that deep dive into the human psyche, whispers a truth that we must all embrace. The healthy subject, the person capable of experiencing a rich and fulfilling life, is the one who grants themselves the permission to desire. They are the ones who know at a core level that they are worthy of the best life has to offer, and they pursue it fiercely. But this pursuit is not chaotic or selfish. It is always grounded firmly within an ethical framework, bound by the unwavering principles of respecting others, and guided by the fundamental moral code we all share. Do not inflict upon others what you would not want inflicted upon yourself. Desiring the absolute best for yourself is not a hyperbolic ask of the cosmos. It is not excessive greed or unreasonable demand. It is instead a fundamental recognition that there is an internal voice, a core being within you, that simply cannot and will not accept crumbs. This refusal extends across all dimensions of your life. No crumbs of affection, no crumbs of respect, no crumbs of recognition, no crumbs of opportunity. That internal recognition, that subtle yet insistent knowing, understands exactly what kind of life it wishes to experience, what kind of joy it wants to savor, what heights it yearns to reach, even if the precise map or the detailed destination is not yet fully illuminated or entirely clear in your mind. This is precisely why that phrase, "I just won't accept less than I know I deserve," is so utterly transformative. It acts as an energetic opener, a key turning in the lock of your mind, clearing the space within your mental landscape, allowing you to gradually become accustomed, familiarized, and deeply comfortable with the abundance of good things the universe is ceaselessly striving to deliver to you. When you proclaim, "I just won't accept less than I know I deserve," something profound happens in the deepest recesses of your being. Your unconscious mind, that silent partner driving so much of your behavior, vibrates at an entirely new, elevated frequency, and a fundamental shift occurs. it finally grasps the signal that you are, decisively and irreversibly, moving out of the crippling place of lack, scarcity, and need, and stepping boldly into the empowered place of conscious choice. You are shedding the heavy, restricting mantle of allowing yourself to feel smaller than you genuinely are, and instead, you are taking a confident, self-respecting posture toward life, recognizing and demanding your inherent value. So many people in the world, in their relationships and their pursuits, confuse genuine, passionate intensity with profound, paralyzing neediness. But there is a colossal structural difference between the two, and understanding it is crucial for your transformation. The truly needy individual stands passively at the sidelines of life, desperately pleading, waiting, and hoping to be seen, validated, and ultimately chosen. They beg for inclusion. The whole self-possessed and mature person, however, operates from a completely different paradigm. They choose. And choosing, that act of conscious selection based on self-knowledge, is not an act of selfishness or ego-driven exclusion. It is the pinnacle of emotional maturity. It is the moment you learn with crystal clarity that settling for little, accepting the bare minimum, the hand-me-downs, the half-hearted efforts, is not humility. It is a subtle, insidious, and deeply entrenched form of self-sabotage, a betrayal of your own inherent worth that poisons your potential. Sigmund Freud, the father of psychoanalysis, taught us a vital lesson. The symptom, any symptom, whether it manifests as chronic physical pain, emotional distress, or pervasive mental fatigue, is fundamentally a message, a cry from the unconscious mind trying desperately to get your attention. And sometimes that nagging, inexplicable exhaustion, that relentless anxiety that chews away at your peace, is not a failure of character or a physical ailment. It is simply your deeply traumatized spirit attempting to communicate a single, urgent truth. You are settling for less than you deserve. Look closely at where this manifests in your existence. In your romantic life, this lack of self-worth often translates into relationship patterns where you pour out far too much, giving until you are emotionally bankrupt, and in return, you receive far too little, leaving you depleted and resentful. In your professional life, it shows up as the suffocating silences that swallow your talent, the unwillingness to speak up, negotiate, or claim the recognition that your expertise and hard work warrant. In your family dynamics, it is the baggage of long-ago guilt, the inherited shame, or the outdated obligations that compel you to carry burdens that are not and have never been truly yours. Emotionally speaking, we find ourselves stuck in these cycles because the unconscious mind, in its relentless, misguided attempt to find resolution and healing, insists on repeating the pattern of pain, reframing the trauma again and again until we finally, fundamentally, learn the lesson of self-respect and self-honor. We continue to revisit the same emotional landscape, the same toxic dynamics, the same self-diminishing behaviors, until the internal cost of the repetition becomes too high to bear. And then, mercifully, the moment of the key turn arrives. The moment of radical, transformative awakening dawns. Psychic maturity, the ultimate goal of self-discovery, is achieved not when you finally achieve every goal you ever set, but when you perceive, with undeniable clarity, that the act of wanting too much, the scale of your healthy ambition, is entirely irrelevant and not the problem. The real soul-crushing problem is the continued passive agreement to accept the too little. You must understand that neither psychoanalysts nor mentors nor gurus nor external circumstances can simply hand you happiness. Nothing outside of you can deliver true, lasting fulfillment beyond your own deliberate struggle, your intense internal labor, and the clear-eyed mental courage to finally, unapologetically accept your rightful place in the world. This sense of profound deserving doesn't materialize from external validation, praise, or permission. It is born instantaneously the very moment you decide that you will no longer betray what you truly feel, the moment you decide to honor your deepest, most authentic self, the moment you decide to uphold your intrinsic value. This is not about arrogance, swagger, or haughty conceit. It is simply about understanding the vastness of your designated space in this universe and stepping into it fully. This journey of self-determination is a constant, ongoing negotiation with reality. And the only true compass is your inner sense of congruence. When you feel that knot of anxiety, when you sense that creeping resentment, when you experience that dull ache of weariness, listen to it. Your symptom is speaking, telling you where you have compromised, where you have allowed the boundary to soften, where you have ceded ground on your inherent worth. The work of self-love is the work of continuous realignment. It requires daily vigilance, a commitment to scrutinize every interaction, every compromise, every silent agreement you make with the world. Are you giving away your energy to people who only take? Are you dedicating your most productive hours to tasks that do not honor your purpose? Are you silencing your truth in rooms where your voice needs to be heard? These are the micro-betrayals that accumulate, leading to the macro symptoms of burnout and anxiety. To break the pattern, you must become your own fiercest advocate. Imagine your inner self as a precious client or a cherished child. Would you allow them to be treated this way? Would you permit them to settle for the substandard housing, the low-paying, soul-draining job, or the one-sided relationship? The answer, unequivocally, is no. You must extend that same protective fierceness, that same unconditional support, to yourself. The transition from being chosen to being the one who chooses is not a sudden leap. It is a slow, methodical climb. It starts with recognizing the subtle forms of emotional coercion that have governed your life. The fear of being alone, the fear of disappointing others, the fear of conflict. These are the ancient chains that bind you to the place of lack. To choose, you must be willing to walk away from what is comfortable but diminishing. Choosing means setting the intention to cultivate relationships where there is genuine reciprocity, where the emotional exchange is balanced, where your efforts are met with equal enthusiasm and respect. It means accepting that when you elevate your standards, some people will inevitably fall away, not because you have changed for the worse, but because you have outgrown the limitations of their capacity to meet you. This shedding, though sometimes painful, is the necessary pruning that allows for profound growth. The universe does not reward humility. It responds to clarity. It mirrors the belief you hold about yourself. When you approach life from a position of, "I choose the best for myself," you activate a magnetic frequency that draws corresponding opportunities and people. When you operate from, "I am grateful for any crumb I receive," the universe happily provides only crumbs, reinforcing your limiting belief. The psychoanalytic insight into the repetition compulsion explains why we keep attracting the same emotionally unavailable partners or the same exploitative work environments. Our unconscious is attempting to rewrite an old, painful script, perhaps the script of parental neglect, emotional abandonment, or unworthiness, by seeking out situations that feel familiar. The hope is that this time, we will finally be strong enough to change the ending, to demand the love, respect, or acknowledgement that was withheld in childhood. But we often get stuck in the middle, repeatedly suffering the initial trauma without ever reaching the victorious rewrite. The mirror ritual, the daily declaration, acts as the moment of conscious interruption to this compulsion. It is you, the adult, the mature subject, stepping in to tell the traumatized inner child, "We are stopping the tape now. We know our value. We are writing a new script that reflects our worth." This realization is the most liberating force imaginable. It frees you from the tyranny of external opinion and the constant need for validation. It turns your focus inward from "what do others think I deserve" to "what do I know to be my irreducible value." This is the moment you reclaim your sovereign self. It requires a radical acceptance of self, not just the light, successful parts, but the messy, struggling, flawed parts too. You accept the whole of yourself, and in that acceptance you find the strength to enforce boundaries that protect that whole self. Boundaries are not walls built out of fear. They are the property lines of your life, defined by respect, clarity, and self-honor. They are the practical application of your mantra, "I won't accept less than I know I deserve." So, I leave you with a profound invitation, an actionable challenge to start right now. As you look in that mirror tomorrow morning, and every morning thereafter, truly see yourself. Do not run from the imperfections or the fatigue. Look deeper. And then ask yourself the defining question that will unlock your next level of existence. In which critical area of my life, be it my emotional health, my professional fulfillment, my intimate relationships, or my financial standing, am I currently tacitly accepting less than I know I deserve? This isn't about desiring too much or demanding the impossible. It is about something far more vital. It is the first time you will truly be seeing your entire magnificent self and recognizing the space you are meant to occupy in this beautiful, demanding world. This vision, this clarity, is your starting line. Go and have a truly marvelous day, a day worthy of your highest potential. If you love this story and want to hear more like it, please hit that subscribe button. It truly means the world to us and helps us grow. And hey, while you're at it, let's aim for 50 likes on this video. Help us smash that goal.